if you have dust or draw trap, you Icarus your own dust or draw trap. When you're chaining, of course,
Yep.
like they go bottoms to prison, you chain Icarus, you hit your draw trap or MST, and you hit another card.
Yep.
And that's still like a fine trade. Or like the secret technique is when they summon, you go torrential, and they say it's okay. Then you can chain Icarus to torrential. You can go after two of their back row. So if they go road on Icarus, the Stardust comes out, but then the torrential clears it. So even though it is a bit of a neg, it gets the road out of the way. So
Yeah.
if you have more Icaruses or storms, those are safe later. But yeah, definitely, I think if you have road, obviously it's favored in the mirror. But just looking at Ludo's list here, one point I wanted to make out was road is really only good, in my opinion, if you have enough defensive cards to back it up. So here you see Ludo has 3 prisons and 2 bottoms and even a book. And that's really strong alongside
Yeah,
road
he is playing an extra
because,
D prison and an extra
yeah,
defensive card with the Book of Moon. This is like 2 more defensive cards than the list that we've been looking
yeah,
at.
exactly. Because one common problem with road is you're dying because you don't have any real protection up, right? And a lot of lists, well, some lists only play 1 prison or 2 prison. Most lists don't even play book. And so, road is always usually going to be a -1. So while you're taking Bora or Shura hits, you kind of want to have a real piece of defense to go alongside that. So yeah, I think Ludo is definitely building correct here, obviously because he's a great player. But
Yeah, the GOAT.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, if you have Yadas, those are empty cards. So you can see how if you replaced, like in Ludo's list, if you replace some real defense with Yadas, the road would get worse because now you're playing so many non-cards that aren't really helpful to stopping your opponent's plays.
I was gonna see if they have replays here, kind of Ludo versus Purple Drunk. Let's see. It's Purple Drunk. I feel like is either a Value or Blackwing player
I
typically.
think this was a Blackwing mirror, and
Yeah.
I think Purple Drunk definitely threw or something here because I remember he was in like a really good spot.
Oh
Like that's a really
God.
strong opener.
Yeah, this opening is very strong. I feel like Ludo's somehow gonna win this game.
Yeah, he definitely did. I think I can't remember how, but
Oh well, you can see the writing on the wall a little bit here.
yeah, Solemn for Solemn later.
So Ludo targeted the Armor Master almost like saying, I want you to activate Icarus attack, it looked like, because you have to think that that's a possibility, but attacks, gives them a wedge counter.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was wrong for him, Purple, not to commit the Whirlwind, even though
Right,
you know it's a Sirocco. Just
right.
because, I mean, you don't want to take the 2k for free, right? I'm pretty sure he's going to take 2k now.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he didn't. Yeah, he was basically a turn behind there by holding it.
Two darks.
Now it's probably going to be Solemn on Solemn. Oh no, he had the Torrential still. I guess, oh, I think it was Road, Solemn, Solemn. Let's see.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I think those Solemn on Solemn chains in the mirror came up a lot as well. And that's, I think you guys discussed it on stream too, but a lot of people would say, oh, Solemn's not that good in the mirror, but Solemning a Solemn or Solemning a Dad, or even just Solemning a Summon is pretty big in the mirror.
Yeah, and I mean I said that because a true hero came on to do commentary at one point, and
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, you always side out Solemn in the mirror match," and I was like, "Well, I don't think that's true." I was like, "I actually think that it's very debatable because it is a summon stop. It stops Icarus and gives your opponent a -1. It stops Dark Arm. It stops Brain Control. Like it stops a summon when they have Whirlwind. Like it could be a turn skip. It could do a lot of things. And I get that. Like yes, sometimes you're going to Solemn and you're literally going to die because you play Solemn Judgment or whatever. But arguably, you could say you probably lost that game anyway if they were resolving the Dark Arm, or if they resolved the Whirlwind plus monster, or if they resolved whatever it is that you felt the need to Solomon go to half. Like there's a chance that literally the Solemn playing it could have saved you, and not having Solemn at all, you would have lost anyway. Now, when it comes to Solemn, we always have conversations. Like in general, the community has conversations about this card because a lot of people swear against it. They feel like it loses you the game. Dimitri being one of the big advocates against it. Gary, you being an advocate against it, and I think Sizzle also is against it, at least in the main deck. So Solemn is a good card, full stop. I want to be like clear about that. Solemn is not a bad card at all. It is a good card, but I think in the mirror match specifically, I think Solemn is actually a card that you probably don't side out. Like maybe going second,
it
but
looked
like
really strong.
yeah,
Yeah, going second might be a bit awkward, but
yeah, because having
I
against
think it's
Whirlwind plus established monster is like, okay, now this is really a bad card, like really, really bad. But typically, I think going first, like Solemn and going first seems like totally fine to me.
yeah, definitely. But I think it was also crazy how often like Solemn on Solemn, like I saw on stream, you guys crossed out on the bingo card like in just a couple of matches, Solemn on Solemn 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Solemn happened a good amount of time, and they were playing very similar deck lists, so they both had Gores and Torrential and Solemns. But yeah, Solemn happened, Solemn happened, and good Solemns happened on both sides where it was like you needed it to be specifically Solemn right there. Like for example, I think the way it ended, I think I called it the $5,000 Solemn. The last game was Summon Dark Arm, and I think Bottomless or something was activated, and then Shifter Solemn, and that was just GG. So literally Solemn was like, it was like a $5,000 Solemn at one point. But yeah, this mirror match, they're playing draw trap games. Everything is chainable. So he's playing around Icarus there. Yep. Okay, he goes for the greed. Because like Sirocco guarantee beats this no matter what. Like if you have Sirocco here, you guarantee beat this even if they have Kalut. But he goes for the Shora because obviously, you know, you don't see a Kalut here, so they have all three available. So I guess they have two available because there's one on the field. But he's saying you don't have another Kalut here. I'm just going to go for it, and I think this is going to cost purple a little bit as well.
Yeah, for sure. Kalut wars are like really annoying in a mirror.
Yep.
Because sometimes let's say you summon Shura and you don't have a Kalut, and your opponent goes Bora Kalut, and it's really annoying because you should be able to beat that. But
no, look at what happened too. Like look at how bad this got now. Like this got so bad. All because of that one little thing. And now again, I'm not saying that purple like hard through or anything. I don't think that summoning a Shore against a Kalut with no back row is like the worst thing.
It's not a misplay, but it's a decision that he had to make, and unluckily he chose the wrong.
Yeah, because if he summons Sirocco, there's nothing that is stopping you from beating over it. But then the problem is if your opponent goes summon Sirocco against your Sirocco, you're holding a Shora.
Yeah, exactly. So his play was better if Ludo had his own Sirocco in hand.
Yep.
And it was worse if there's a Kalut. So this goes back to how every decision is always going to be a punish, and you can never predict it.
And now he has Rose, so he's just playing ignorant.
Yeah.
He's just going to like summon everything. I don't care. Okay, that's game. Yep. So fortunately, he was able to draw a Bora because like he needed to literally kill him right there.
Yeah, I mean, even there, I wonder if Ludo was supposed to hold.
The
I didn't see his life, but maybe you hold the Shura because
right.
There's a lot of reasons to hold, like not just the Sirocco pump, but also if you top Gale, if you top Whirlwind.
Also,
like something.
I don't think the extra 1800. I don't think the extra 1800 made a difference.
Yeah, it didn't turn off Brain Con, and I think the set was there the previous turn when Colossal swung, but I wasn't fully paying attention to the replay.
No, I think you're right though. I think Ludo might have gotten a little antsy because he's like, if your back row is Torrential or Mirror Force, I'll win on the spot because I have road set, right? So he's saying I want you to have one of the sweepers so I can just GG you real quick. And you know, his opponent still had to get fortunate right there and draw the Bora in order for it to be game. Because without the Bora, just Sirocco pump is just 2,000 and Ludo was at 3,000. So it's like they both made some decisions that game.
Yeah, I guess you could argue like maybe he had a Kalut in hand too because he was holding 2 cards. It could have been like Sirocco Kalut, Sirocco Bora, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Kalut also kills you there. Yep.
Yeah, like that's why I also like in the late games for Blackwings, like there's so much thought into what kills you. And you have to
Yeah.
literally look at the grave and count, okay, how many Kalutes are left? How many Blizzards are left?
And
And
there's
just,
also brain control, which Ludo
yeah,
probably thought about
exactly.
as well, because if he loses the
Mhm.
brain control too, but you probably lose the brain control even if you summon, realistically.
Yeah. But summoning also reps Icarus, and that complicates the decision. Although, like, I think if you're down bad, you just gotta go for game anyways and say
Yeah.
you don't have Icarus because I'm losing otherwise.
And that back row was set before there was a Blackwing. It was set row with Colossal Fighter, so it's like I don't necessarily have a good read on it being Icarus. Obviously, if you have the Icarus, you're probably setting it without having a Blackwing live because
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
just like setting anything at that point. Here's what you were talking about though. Look at how he's able to just set all of these without thinking about it.
yeah, yeah. So he was able to set Icarus and Prison at the same time,
Yeah,
which was really important. That
yeah,
covers everything. It covers Sirocco. It covers, Shura with his own Kalut, and it covers him setting like 2 traps in the end phase.
yep,
Yeah, like the end phase Icarus like that. It's just so strong.
yeah. And this is where we are now. So Ludo has the initiative. Oh well, Ludo has Solemn in his deck in his game 3. So there you go. This
Yeah.
and Ludo, in my opinion, is the GOAT when it comes to Blackwings. So if anybody do I trust if what they do, I think that I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it from here that this is just correct. I genuinely think
Yeah,
that
I think
this makes
Solemn
sense.
is definitely worth it, especially if you're going
Yeah,
first.
he's blatantly
It's
going first. So it's like I definitely think that
yeah,
Solemn is not a card that you side out against the Black because look at what he just did. You just turn
yeah,
skip.
it's an extra bottomless, right?
Yep, he just turn skipped them. I think this is game, right? Yeah, that's game. He literally just skipped his turn. Like you're dead. And the road didn't even do anything. All the road did was allow him to set 3 other real traps with impunity. Like I know nothing can go wrong, and that's all it did. Like it literally was just like this lets me set Deep Prison and Yada and Icarus attack on turn 1.
Yeah, because if you look at his turn one hand, it was Yada, Prison, Icarus, Road. If you didn't have the Road, you either set Prison, Icarus, and hope there's no Storm, which is also a totally fine play,
Right.
or you just set Yada or Icarus pass, right?
Yep. Yeah. Without the
So
road,
let's
your turn 1
imagine
is
a road was, let's say it was Gores, right?
yep.
Like a blank. You either go I mean, you can go Shura, Icarus, Prison, and Yada, or you can just go Yada, Icarus pass, or Yada, Prison pass, right? But you see how like just getting the Shura and the back row down, um, it basically put Purple Drunk in a checkmate position, right? So I
Yeah.
think the fact that Road enables you to set back row aggressively is definitely a huge reason to play it.
And the other thing is that purple didn't have to set 2 into this here.
Yeah,
Purple,
he didn't.
yeah, he could have just set like Dust Tornado and held the MST obviously because like MST setting MST I don't think is going to do the most. You already know your opponent doesn't have Whirlwind, like you know for a fact. Like let's just
Yeah, I mean, well, now I'm watching this again. I actually don't even think you had to swing with the Shura.
right. Like he
Um,
summoned and swung.
yeah, because I actually think like I mean, obviously we're watching with hindsight bias now, but I think
Yep.
I would have just done Shura pass because if Ludo has Kalut, you're taking more damage than by swinging rather than not swinging.
Yeah, because if
Because
they have Kalut and you know you don't have a Kalut, so
yeah,
if they have 4 back row and one of their card in hand, because I guess they only have 1 card in hand, their 1 card in hand happens to be Kalut, which it very well could be. There's a 40% chance that they open up with Kalut, so it's not like it's a crazy thing to be like they have Kalut. If they have the Kalut, you're taking 14, and then if they summon Value or Gale, you're taking additional 18 plus because you know you don't have defense either.
yeah,
You're taking additional 18. He's not going to not attack. He has Starlight Road set. You don't know that, but you can kind of guess that he has some protection because he set 4 back row. He has Solemn or Starlight Road,
yeah, exactly.
100%. So yeah, you're taking 14 plus 18, so that's 32 plus whatever Shore is summoned, which is like an additional 800, let's say at the least. And then you're also taking if he has any normal summons to follow up because he's going to normal summon. There's no reason not to. Again, he's going to you have nothing. He's just going to summon again. So it's just like really,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just too much damage, and so I mean, I think I probably would have done like just Shura set one backer, like set the dust.
yeah. And if they Icarus you
And
there, you're like,
because the other
okay,
thing is, if your Shura goes to the grave next turn, you have Blizzard at least.
yep,
I mean,
yep,
it didn't matter in this game because Ludo topped Solemn, but um, it's like if your Shura swings into Prison, your Blizzard's still 2 turns away from being live, and that's probably fine if you have real traps in hand. Like
mm,
if his hand was Prison, Prison, or Prison Mirrorverse, you think you're gonna live long enough for your Blizzard to be live again? But if it's all monsters, then yeah, I just think taking damage is not in your best interest.
This is such a complicated mirror match. It's such a
Yeah,
complicated deck.
it's crazy.
And I guess to kind of wrap this up, we've been talking for a while now, and I hope that people are getting something out of this because I really enjoy doing these kind of videos more than just playing on DB. Because while playing on DB is cool and everything like that, it is not a real indication of like most of the things that are going on mentally. And games play out so specific sometimes, or so just anecdotal evidence of one thing or another. But talking about this stuff, I hope improves people's game plan or like helps them to think better because there's a lot of like little nuggets throughout this. So
Right.
one of the things about Blackwings is people argue both ways for this deck. I'm one of the people who does this. I think Blackwings is very easy to play, and I think that it is a deck that you can easily have success with if you're like, I think you have success with it against good players. I think you can beat a good player with a Blackwing deck. Like if you have a Blackwing deck, I think you could beat a good player more than you would be if you try to play a Frog deck or a Value deck, because I think those decks are genuinely, the decision trees are harder. However, I do think that at a high level, Blackwings is very difficult to play correctly. At the same
Yeah,
time,
I mean, I agree with the second half of your statement because it's so punishing, right?
yeah,
You only get one summon a turn, and if your level 4 gets bottomless or prisoned, you kind of lose the game. And there's so much you have to play perfectly to get out of the deck. At the same time, it does have a lot of auto win hands with like Shura, Whirlwind, or
yep,
Dashu, that kind of stuff. But I feel like the reason why Blackwings don't top as much or win as much is because if you're not playing perfectly, you don't get as far with the deck, right?
yep. Man, that's
Even
kind of obvious
yeah,
too at this point,
yeah.
right? We're seeing it happen a lot.
But I feel like, I mean, Vayu in particular, I feel like Vayu, I mean, I play both decks a lot. I feel like Vayu, I'm not saying it's brain dead because it's obviously very hard to play at a high level as well. It usually has more, safer plays. Like if you're opening like Hamster and Greffer, it's pretty easy to lead on Hamster rather than Greffer. And I feel like the punishes aren't as big and your rewards are bigger too. Like Return, Burial, Dad are just auto win buttons.
Right.
Whereas I don't even think Whirlwind's an auto win button in Blackwings, as controversial as that sounds,
It's not.
because
You're right.
what you search off Whirlwind is really complicated. A lot of people make the wrong searches, right? Sometimes you should search Blizzard versus Khalud versus Bora versus Gale. Like that's a decision. And sometimes you should be holding your whirlwind. Sometimes you should be committing both. It's like it's actually really hard, I think. And uh, yeah, it's just I don't think there's any free cards in Blackwing where it's like unless you're going first, right? Like Whirlwind, sure,
Right,
obviously
right.
you're doing well. But it's not like Vayu where, oh, I just top burial. I'm gonna bring back like for an easy +2 and kill you. Or flip
My
return and do Sirocco double pump.
my counter argument to why I think Blackwings at a low level is easy to play is because it is a deck that does not set monsters at all. It removes an entire layer of the game.
That's true.
It literally only is going to summon an attack every single turn in ideal scenarios, and ideal for this deck to summon an attack is like 99% of games. Like rarely do you see Blackwing setting monsters. If they are doing that, they're probably on the back foot, or they probably just have Icarus attack and value. It's very like skewed towards just summon every turn and attack. And so what happens, and this is what I mean by this, like value layering your normal summons correctly is extremely difficult for players to do.
That's true. Mhm.
I think that
Sequencing
knowing
your summons.
sequencing the Ryko set versus the Hamster set versus the Armageddon summon versus the Card Trooper summon versus the Gruffer summon versus like the Kaya's here, knowing like, okay, I probably should set the Ryko because it's so slow and I can rely on the Gruffer plus pitch in my hand at a later point, or knowing that I probably should go Gruffer pitch here because putting them on the clock and them playing whatever deck they're playing, it's all contextual. My point is that like there are layers to the summons in frogs. Like frogs can literally choose bring back treatment frog, go substitute turn like this. I could dupe block you
Yeah.
here, or I can Caius your monster here, and or I can set dupe frog here, and then like there's like decision trees being made of what you're
Yeah.
going to do if your normal summon. Blackwings, the hands are like traps and monsters, and the monsters are just going to be whatever makes sense at the time. If they have a Greffer, I am summoning a monster bigger than Greffer. Like whatever it is, like you're just going to summon based on, you're always summoning face up and you're always summoning based on what is in front of you. And there's not really much nuance in like layering your summons, in my opinion. It's just like, okay, the most layering you can do is if you have Sirocco and Shura, you summon Sirocco first so that they bottomless that. and then you hold the Shura. And that's like, ooh, we just layered our summons. Like we chose
Yeah.
to hold the Shura. Like that is a decision tree that the good players do know about. Like, okay, you don't summon the Shura out first. You bait the back row with the
Yeah,
Sirocco.
exactly.
But like in term like and even in my opinion, I think at 2025, I think that is also basic now. And this kind of goes back
Yeah.
to my point. Like I'm not saying you're wrong and that Blackwings don't have complicated game states where they need to play really well to get the most out of the deck. I do think at a high level, and I'm consistent with saying this, I think Blackwings is really hard to play at a high level. I think like
Oh, for
players
sure.
like AJT and Ludo and you and Hydro Pump, players who have had success with this deck and who have won tournaments with this deck or have gotten far in top cut or whatever, those players, when they're playing Blackwings, you can like see why they made it to the top. And Blackwings is oftentimes the number one or number two most represented deck in a tournament, and either none of them will top or like very few of them will top. And it's like, well, why is that? It's like, yeah, because technically it's easy, right? It's technically easy, summon and attack, but then at the same time, it's not so easy because you do have to know like all of these small nuanced things to do that get the most out of the deck, and it does make it a real threat. I argue for it both ways. Like I think it's both an easy deck and a complicated and hard deck to play. And I know it's kind of crazy to have those ambivalent opinions about it, but like I genuinely do think that it is both of those things at the same time. Like it's weird, but I genuinely think that.
Yeah, no, I know where you're coming from, especially because if you're not very good or well versed in the format, the best thing you can do is just summon an attack.
Yeah,
It's really hard to mess that up, right?
because a
Uh,
bad player doesn't even know like why would I set the Raikou turn one instead of the hamster? Like why am I doing that? Why hamster is a +1 hamster? Then I can get the right if they attack into it. They're like, why would I not do that? It's like, well, you're playing against frogs, and realistically, like the Raikou is going to be more valuable to you because what if they bring back that Tremor Frog and go into a duplock? You probably want to have the Raikou right there instead, or like you could argue either way, but just this is all hypothetical.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
like the reasoning behind why you're layering your summons the way you are, why you're setting what you're setting, instead of just going like, oh well, he summon swap bounce pass. I could just go for fucking full on Greffer right now, or I could just set Raikou, right? And if they monarch the Raikou, now that Greffer can be used to make Goyo Guardian, and there's like all these decision trees happening. But if I'm playing Blackwings, it's like, well, I drew Shura and Bora, and guess what I'm doing if you went summon swap Sentry Born bounce pass? I'm summoning Shura and I'm specialing Bora.
Yeah, 35 set 2
I'm not
plus.
even thinking about it. It's not even a thought. It's like this is just what you do every time. There's no like nuance to it. It's like I'm doing this every single time. Like
Yeah,
uh
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. Blackwings is a very, very good deck, but right now I don't see many people opting to play it at a high. Like the better players mostly are on Value or Frog decks, and a lot of times when I see Blackwings, like for example, no Blackwings top Midwest Edison Clash, but I think there were like 32 entrants out of 157, which is incredible. Like that's a lot of people playing that deck. Zero topped, and it was top 16 and zero topped. My 1K was 80 people, a lot of Blackwings. I don't know the exact number of Blackwings, but it was a lot. Zero topped. And again, this is all anecdotal evidence, right? Like there's other tournaments where Blackwings take up like a good chunk of the top cut or whatever. But I think the reason why Blackwings has these like wild swings and where zero will top, and this happens often enough for me to point it out, it has these wild swings where zero will top, and then it has these swings where like, you know, enough will get in and it's like, oh, Blackwings are obviously in top 4 finals or whatever. I think it's because like it really does matter on how good the player is using this deck. I rarely see people sacking their way all the way into a top cut with Blackwings. It just doesn't really happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's also why, I mean, obviously Sizzle's like the GOAT and he's so consistent with topping and winning. But if you look at a lot of the Vayu pilots, every time Vayu wins a tourney, it's usually someone different. I don't know if
Yes,
you noticed that.
I do. I
And
say
it's
all the
very,
time, you're the
yeah,
86th person to win with Value
yeah,
Turbo. Like,
exactly. And it's very rare for like someone not named Sizzle to have repeated success with Vayu.
yep.
And it just
Sizzle or
shows like, oh,
Samu, those are like the two.
exactly. Yeah, Samuel online, and he's fantastic as well.
Yep.
It's just like, okay, it's this guy's turn to sack with Burial Dad return.
It does
Now
feel
it's
like
this guy's
that.
turn. Yeah.
That's kind of
Um,
that's a good point too. That's a good argument for Value being a bit easier or like sackier or whatever, because you do see a lot of randoms, no shade, but like a lot more random people or unknown people just winning a tournament or like doing well and getting into top cut. Like just somebody's like, I've never seen this guy top before, don't know this username, there's some random person, but they're just playing Value, and Value has so much ridiculous things in it, like all the bombs, all the mills that could be ridiculous and all that stuff, that you often see that deck perform better than something like Blackwings, where you don't have as many like sack ways to get into a top cut or sack ways to win an entire tournament. Whereas Value, 86 winners, just as hyperbole, but like 86 winners, and they're all different. There's like Samu has like 4 wins, Sizzle has 4 wins, and then it's like a bunch of people who are just one-off value winner, one-off value winner, one-off value winner. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also just with Blackwing, it just has a consistency issue, right? Like it's just not as consistent as Frog or Value.
Yeah, we said that in the beginning. You were talking about the
Yeah.
quality of normal summons, and I think I did this analysis very recently. Value Turbo and frogs, like hero frogs, I mean, have the most number of quality normal summons in the opening hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're doing test hands on DB with Value, and you did like 10 hands, and they're all like really playable. Like you didn't brick in a single one of them.
Yeah, it was absurd. So you have Stratos. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are 10 summons that are all incredible to open with. Like your triple spell card that gets Stratos, triple substitute, triple actual swap frog, and then Stratos himself are all insane. Like turn one, these are what I open. You could also argue that opening Treatment Frog a lot of the time is also just perfectly fine because you don't usually
Yeah.
get punished for it. And if you draw a discard trap, you're just setting Raigeki Break Pass, and then on the in phase, you're popping, if they have a back row, pop it, and then you could go Toad or Caius or Ryza. But like this is a dupless Hero Frog deck, and we just counted 10 summons that don't include Treeborn Frog that are all extremely high quality summons.
Yeah, and you have 3 upstarts too, so it's like not even out of 40, but out of 37, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is actually a really big deal. And then Value Turbo, let's pull this up. I'm just gonna pull it up again. We're gonna end this video here. But I'm gonna pull up a Value Turbo list. I'm gonna pull up Samu's, since Samu also has a great amount of success here. So we have 1, 2,
2,
yep, and then we're saying
5,
Sirocco, yep, 5,
Trooper,
yes,
6,
Trooper's really good, Greffers,
7, 8,
yep, and then
9,
all,
10,
yep,
11. He has 13.
yep, it's
And then
insane.
Rhoda, so that's 14. And Allure is kind of soft because you
Yeah,
can dig for a starter, but
yep,
it's just way more consistent. And then if you go back to Blackwing, you count for Blackwing, it's like how many of these turn 1 openers are really good?
yeah.
Like Shura's good, Sirocco's good. I don't think Bora's that good, but
No, it's not.
you
Bora
kind
gets
of
beat by
need it.
Stratos, which is a big problem in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of 2-card combos, right? Like Bora when Bora's good.
Yes.
Or Bora Kalut's like okay, right?
Yeah,
With
it's okay.
Blizzard. But it's like it's just the number of quality starting summons, it's just much lower by like 3 or 4 cards. And so I think that's why I know Rev was pushing for hybrid. And one nice thing about hybrid is it just ups the starter count because you have Greffer, you have Rhoda, you have more ways to get started turn 1. So that's like, a way to approach this deck building, just to improve the consistency. I think it's pretty clear Blackwing struggles with consistency compared to the other like Hero Frog and Value.
That's very fair. I tend to agree. I think Blackwings definitely struggles with consistency more, and every time I play it, I feel it. I feel when I touch Value and I touch Hero Frogs, I feel like every one of my opening hands is going to be playable for the most part. Like it's very rare that I draw an unplayable. Like I went first, and my opening hand is literally unplayable with Hero Frogs or with Value Turbo. Whereas Blackwings, even if my hand is like playable, I don't necessarily want to play anything because some of the cards, like even opening Shura, I might not even want to summon Shura turn 1, just summoning Shura and passing or whatever. Like it doesn't always feel great to do that. And we said this in the podcast, like summoning Shura and passing tells your opponent not to put certain cards on the field. It's a dog whistle for like not to do certain things. Like they're not going to whatever card they might put on the field. They're like, well, I'm not doing that now. Like I'm not summoning Greffer now. I'm going to wait until I deprison that fucker, and then I'll summon my Greffer. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. And it also makes Sirocco way better if you summon Shura turn 1. So, yeah. Well, thank you, ProStorm. This has been an incredible discussion. We're almost 2 hours in, and I think that we covered a lot of different things when it comes to Blackwings. There's stuff that, of course, there's so much to talk about that we couldn't possibly talk about every small nuanced thing, but I hope that you guys did get something from this series of just conversations about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Edison format and the decks at a high level. I've been trying to bring on really good players that I know, people who are really good at theory. ProStorm is one of the best, and just discuss these things with other people to get their perspective and argue for or against certain ideas and stuff. I think this is really helpful for the community to get better as a whole. So thank you, ProStorm.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on. It was a long and fruitful discussion, and hopefully the audience took something away from all the yapping.
Yeah, a lot of
I think
yapping.
it's always, yeah, I think it's always fun to discuss these things because The format's at a stage where the decks are mostly refined.
Yes.
Most people are like not bad with their technical play, but I think the technical play aspect is where we can grow as individuals. And so, I mean, at least for me personally, I love just talking about these things. And I know a lot of people call me a big hindsight Hector for just looking at replays and trying to
Yeah.
figure out optimal plays after the fact. But I think it's just really interesting because that's one area where we can all still improve and learn from. And these discussions are always a great way to kind of learn new things myself and hopefully other people learn a thing or two from this. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so as well. All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to get ProStorm back to his life, and I'm going to go and edit this colossal video so I can get this out to you guys following the 5K mirror match that we saw. 50 games of Blackwings. So if you guys, for whatever reason, want to go back and revisit that, the VOD is on my channel, and you can watch any amount of it to see some great Blackwing gameplay and some entertainment from me and a couple other commentators. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Peace.